G'day everybody, and welcome to a very special Icarus stream with myself, Capac, and Exctoris, who is the lead developer of Icarus. Thanks so much for coming along and withstanding our peppering of questions and my ineptitude with my own setup.
It's totally fine. You're having to struggle through my messy base, so
So yeah, we had a few questions that we thought we'd ask, but also I'm sure a bunch of other stuff will come up with from chat and some other questions that we got from our community before. But I thought we'd just take a look around your base first, because it's interesting to see someone else's approach. Oh, it just wins.
I I usually go for like an interesting looking base. So this started off as a small shack and then like started ballooning out. Had to redesign it like 3 times. But yeah, I think I've got it looking the way I like.
I'm interested by your storage approach.
Uh, there's supposed to be signs on them telling us what they are, but yeah, that's. It's
I did not realize they would stack that way.
Oh, really?
No. And I'm afraid of what Capac's now going to do with that.
It's interesting.
Oh.
I feel like if they were in another material, they'd look very sci-fi in this kind of shape.
Yeah, they would.
Yep.
Hang on. I'm wondering, just to get completely sidetracked, how horizontal does the surface you place these on need to be?
It's got a it's got a value that we've tweaked so it does work like this.
Because I was starting to think, can I make an arch doing this? But I guess no, if there is a value.
Maybe you can.
Can I,
I would have to
can I
try
make a
that out,
storage
actually.
arch?
Yeah.
Sorry, completely distracted by that. Oh. Ah, these are space crates.
Yeah, space crates. Yeah. There's a couple of spare space crates and there's some grenades in there. I brought the grenades. I was crafting grenades because I wanted to get the Xbox achievement.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I asked you. I'd been asking a couple of questions around the Galileo update before we went live, but for the sake of chat, how have you felt about how it's gone so far?
I think it's gone pretty well. I think it seems that a lot of people liked fishing, but there were some that didn't like it. But you can't please everyone. But in general, I think we've had a pretty good reception, and that's reflected in the numbers of people coming back and stuff.
Yep. Cool. You did mention that it was unfortunate timing.
Yeah, obviously Diablo 4 came out, and we'd made a call weeks before when we were going to put it out, and Diablo seemed to come out at the same time, so there was a little bit of crossover with players, but in general, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I myself played Diablo on the weekend, so.
Oh, right. Do the fish need anything other than water? Because it looks like they've got a water pipe going in. And power.
These aquariums just need water and power at the moment.
Okay. You also mentioned that there's potentially going to be some stuff coming out with changes to the fish animations in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so
weeks.
Yeah, we had a developer who was really into the fish movement, and he decided to do a whole lot of extra work on the last day, and I just said, sorry, man, we can't put it in. It's too late. So, we're going to put that out in a patch. It just makes them a little more natural, and he's made it so, I haven't enabled it or anything yet, but you can put, I think he had 20 or 30 fish in this small one confined area, all swimming around, not crashing into each other, which is really cool.
Oh, nice. So one of the big questions that came up when I was asking people about where things were going for Icarus was related to the missions.
Mm-hmm.
particularly missions and open world, and how those two systems were expecting to interact with each other. Is there a plan to go and expand upon the missions that we've got available to us in open world?
Yeah, so we are obviously we're planning to do more of the smaller dynamic missions, but we are also planning to go over all of the existing missions for Olympus and Styx and making sure, possibly look at getting them all triggering on open world with a different machine and stuff. That's just going to take a little bit because it does mean we have to go through each of the missions and make sure they clean themselves up afterwards. We don't want to be leaving big artifacts in open worlds or anything like that.
Yep. Though I presume still leaving the little structures, because I've quite enjoyed them deteriorating over time, and watching and like as we walk past, just seeing ruins slowly get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, no, it is really satisfying when you have your starter base and then you move somewhere else, and then you come across your starter base later on and it was all built in thatch and it's all busted and there's a few containers and a crafting bench or something like that.
Yeah.
Something satisfying about it.
Yeah. Another area I had a question of, which I definitely haven't asked yet. Are there goals in mind for changes to the animal behavior? So I've been playing a bit of the Long Dark lately, and one of the things that's kind of struck me there was the way that when you shoot a wolf, it runs away.
Oh yeah.
So it seems to, like, they're quite hostile, they're aggressive, but when they realize they're in trouble, they bolt, and then they come back to you again when things seem to have calmed down and hunt you again. Is there any plan in the pipeline for more complex behaviors for the animals?
Yes. So at the moment, most of the people who are working on the animal behaviors are focused on the creatures for the DLC, and they are definitely coming up with behaviors. And there is a bit of a plan for us to go back over the existing creatures and revamp them a little bit to make them a bit more natural, because we've got some creatures that just dart straight towards you or just do a nice little path, but that's you can only have that for so long.
Yeah.
Splitsy and I have talked a lot about how much immersion it adds when the creatures interact in realistic ways, both with you and with each other and the environment.
Interesting fact: before the release of Icarus, we had all the animals interacting with one another, like in a full kind of simulated world. But it was quite cool to stumble across them, going on, like you'd see wolves hunting deer and stuff like that. But we had to restrain that and turn it off a little bit, because otherwise there'd be no deer. Like the wolves would hunt all the deer to extinction, kind of thing. We've slowly started adding some of it back, with not fully scripted events or anything like that, but we're definitely limiting the amount of using the deer and wolf example, limiting the amount of wolves that can be hunting at one time. But we are really interested in that kind of stuff and creating those experiences.
I suppose because you don't track... I'm imagining you don't, say, using RimWorld as an example, where once an animal exists, it tracks its hunger meter, its sleep meter, all these sorts of things. Because you don't track... I presume you don't track a wolf from start and it just remains in the world. You can't really do, is this wolf hungry? No, then don't hunt.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that, because we do actually track.
You do track it. Okay.
Yeah. So, really early on in the process, we if you've ever heard of GOAT, goal-oriented action programming, it's basically give creatures a brain of sorts, where you give them various motivations like hunger and thirst and aggression and whether they're scared and stuff like that. And that generates that's fed into an algorithm and generates a behavior and you give them certain behaviors that can fulfill their goals. And that's kind of what we did. So we've the underlying AI system that we've got from all the animals is really powerful. It's just we're using it in a very simplistic way at the moment.
Yep. So it wasn't performance wise, it was more just the behaviors weren't acting in a desirable fashion.
Yeah, we have to give them more actions to fulfill their needs, and then they'll be interacting in different ways. So it kind of came down to time. It kind of came down to a little bit of animations, and it also came down to how complex we wanted these animals to be.
Yeah, because from a player perspective, especially one who enjoys like that simulation side of things, and sometimes just sitting back and watching. Like I can think of multiple times when I've literally just walked around in GTA 5 and listened to the random conversations that the inhabitants have, and those moments when you're just walking around and you're just staring can be really cool. It's hard to say how much they're worth in terms of all the effort that goes into them, but it certainly helps me feel more connected.
Yeah, it definitely helps to make a living, breathing world rather than it gets you more involved rather than feeling like you're playing a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that makes me very happy. 'Cause I wasn't sure whether that was going to be one of those questions where I'm like, oh, that just created an awkward moment. Probably shouldn't have asked that.
No, you're right. If we don't get at least one awkward moment tonight, then something's gone wrong.
Well, then Capac wasn't here. All right. So I feel like I've talked to Dean about this before, but at what stage or how early on did the switch to the open world sort of thing come about? Because I felt like open world wasn't planned from the start, but was it?
It was and it wasn't. So, if you're playing
the
near
outposts were.
Yeah, if you're playing near the beginning, obviously we had the smaller outposts.
Yeah.
But we also had these kind of, I can't remember what we called them, exploration missions or something, in the Olympus content, which were literally very long. I think they were 30-day missions with no actual mission in it. So that was kind of like the soft open world thing. So people could experience all the same content and they could choose easy, medium, and hard and stuff like that. It's just that wasn't that people didn't know about it. And then we decided to go down the route of open world, releasing them with the dedicated servers to kind of drum up a bit more excitement and give some more people some customization options and stuff like that. So we did have them in the game, but we didn't focus on it. And then we did decide to spend some time and focus on it because it was providing a more traditional survival game experience that a lot of people were used to and missing in Icarus.
Yeah, and I mean, Icarus provides quite a good survival game experience. Do you have any food? Fridges.
There's
Can I steal some food?
Yeah, go for it. There's also some. I'm cooking fish in the campfire. So.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there we go. I literally, as we were talking about the survival game experience, I was starving.
Yeah, I was starving a couple of minutes ago and had to rush in.
Yes, when chat keeps wondering whether Capac's here or whether I've broken his audio after the intro, but no, Capac is here. He's just being quiet. He's just listening. I'm not really sure what he's up to.
Yeah, I'm just sneaking around.
Capac, did you want us to switch over to our world and then you can do whatever you want to do with your farming stuff?
Yeah, I'm good for whatever. What?
We could. I don't mind doing that. I'm just sitting here fishing, so.
Yeah, maybe we'll switch over because I did have a couple of questions, and one of them I asked you before the stream, but I thought if we pop over to it, we can talk about it with context. So I'm just going to go return to character select. Oh wait, I should probably... yeah, that'll be fine. Drop down to here. Am I online on Steam? Yes, I am. Cool. So, what was another question? Oh, here we go. Here was a question that TFE asked me. What feature did you really want to add but wasn't feasible?
Oh, I have so many. I have a list of like 50 big features that I get told off for and have to like scope back quite a bit.
Rein yourself in.
Yeah, exactly. One of the really big things I really want to get in is the like a we've got the missions and stuff. I want to have player interaction directly affecting the world. So firing a gun in the Arctic causing a landslide kind of thing, or like building up a lot of industrial machinery causing like enemies to come and attack because they don't like the noise. A whole lot of the kind of like dynamicness or natural things that could occur. I really want to get that system in, but we had to pull that out, unfortunately. For now.
Okay.
I mean, I could see, like, once you start getting some of the missions into the open world, I could see ways in which you could sort of chain them together to sort of achieve those effects. Like, you have a mission where you have to build a bunch of machinery, and then you have a follow-up mission where a bunch of animals attack because you had a bunch of machinery.
Yeah.
I quite like the idea of some of that. Kabak, when did you build a wall light?
Huh?
When did you
Ages
build...
ago.
Oh, we've just never had power to it.
No, it has power when it has power. I pretty much built it there to indicate when we had power.
Okay. Sorry, distracted. So, man, the idea of having avalanches sound cool. Especially given what you guys do with the weather system, because I imagine linking the effects possible there would be very cool. But the idea of having the industrial machinery start annoying the animals the way that everything to do with the exotics does kind of gives me the whole tower defense vibes that I often quite enjoyed about 7 Days to Die.
Yeah.
Because having that purpose to building something like the ridiculously oversized keep that we've built here, which you'll hopefully be able to join and drop to shortly, would be really cool.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Another, as part of that system, we were also looking at, instead of just like the normal weather events we have, like more volumetric weather events. So like tornadoes that literally move their way across the map, and things that you can see in the distance that you can prepare for and get out of the danger zone if you need to, kind of thing.
Yeah. So where Exctoris is going to land will kind of lead me on to the thing that we had talked about before, which was sometimes, even though it's not especially realistic, although maybe it is a bit realistic, I don't know, but sometimes you do want to, in a setup like this, be able to restrict certain spawns from happening. Like the crocodiles under the bridge you're going to walk across to get over to our base.
Thanks for the warning. Appreciate that.
Yeah, don't mind the level 80 to 120 crocodiles that are all in the way.
Cool. I'll just equip my armor and bow before I move.
It's alright, I'll deal with this croc first. Oi! Buddy, come on. Oh no, got a bit close. Oh, I missed the bridge. That's bad. Oh, I think I'm about to... Yeah, I died.
Oh, damn.
I was running backwards and I missed the bridge.
Oh, this is a nice location. I like what you've built.
Thanks. Definitely a team effort. What's Capac doing?
I'm
Killing a jag.
Trying to
Jag
deal with
off.
all this wildlife.
Do you mind coming and reviving me in the water? I was trying to make it so Exctoris wouldn't get eaten on the quest across the bridge, but it got me
And you
instead.
got yourself eaten.
I did. Thank you.
I seem to walk across just fine.
Oh,
Well, until you get to the end where they've eaten the stairs.
Oh, I see.
Capac, would you like some of the shotgun shells that for some weird reason keep appearing in my inventory?
Um,
The 38
Sure.
of them?
38? What?
Yeah. I think this is a bad time to bring this up, but I think there might be a little bug with, or there might have been, in the prior to the Galileo update, where Capac's talents for not expending ammo were putting it into my inventory.
Oh, right.
Or
Or are they
not.
duping it?
They disappeared.
What?
I picked them up and now they're gone. I only have 14 shotgun shells.
Oh.
But I picked up a box of 38 off the ground.
Huh. Okay. Weird. Capac, apparently you're on Be Right Back screen.
Oh, yeah.
I
could probably do something about that.
I really like what you've done with the power line.
Yeah, we were
Really cool.
we were talking about that earlier. I was kind of like, I wonder if there's a way for you guys to make the power tool so you could do an elevated power line as part of the power tool. But it doesn't use resources, so I'm not sure many people would actually choose to do what we've done.
One of
So it might be better left like it is.
one of the developers actually we do have a power pole with a power line connecting the splines together instead of like the black little dots. So I'll have to check that out again. I've had problems with the splines. I don't like the power lines and the thing lines. I don't like how they do the curves. It's not- I think-
Well,
Because it's not
have...
gravitational.
yeah. Sometimes I wish it was just point to point.
I can't remember how far down the line it was, but there is a problem that I've run into further down where the buildable terrain doesn't match the hitbox of the cliff face.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are
yeah.
a few of those on the mountain. I mean, there's one in our castle, Capac.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, the power line's sagging here where it's come off the poles.
Oh, I see. Yep. Yeah, and there's straight up collision here. Yep.
Oh. Oh. Interesting. So,
Some of these these rocks, but it occurs in many different spots on the map. But we've slowly been cleaning them up little by little because they're quite hard to find unless you're like literally jumping around map, following every rock.
just need to get a few Skyrim players in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got a couple of people that are like that, and we've got found quite a few of them. But... yeah. You were talking about the spawning before.
Yes.
We do have, or will have, something possibly in the next couple of weeks that should, help alleviate those concerns. Yeah.
I think
Without
it'll
saying
be.
too much.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice. It'll be nice to have it available as an option, because
Yeah.
I think I seem to swing back and forth on this topic all the time between I want everything to be difficult to I want things to be sometimes I just want to chill, and I think giving the player the choice in the moment between which of those it's going to be is certainly beneficial.
Ow.
Oh, shoot, I haven't eaten. Oh, I've got no bust.
The joys of Ring Lake, huh?
Yep.
Well, I mean, you can see here where our first base was that we quickly abandoned. due to a crocodile attack.
Yeah, I can. I can see the remnants of it.
Yeah, Quincy, we talked about the plans for other missions to come to open world, and it sounds like, yes, that's the plan. And to expand upon what we've got in open world. Because I've been feeling more and more as we've been playing this that this is... I really enjoy playing through the beginning phase of a survival game. It's why when I first heard about Icarus, I was quite excited by it, because one of the reasons I was able to do all the Space Engineers tutorials was that I'm the sort of person that goes, now I'm up to where I kind of feel like I've got everything I want. I'm going to start again. And I'm going to start again. And I'm going to start again. I burned myself out a little bit on Icarus in the beta, doing that every week for however many weeks I did it. And really, really like smashing out everything. So it's been just great sitting down and Capac and I being able to just play through this slowly and build up things and knowing it's still going to be there. So I've been really looking forward to the idea of more and more of the missions coming here so that we can play around with them. So yeah, that is a thing that is planned. And we talked about the animal behaviors as well. Here's a good question. How do you feel the balance between building up on a new mission and the actual mission tasks has turned out?
That's a good question.
It's a tricky one. Take your time.
Yeah. Well, obviously the Olympus, like you were saying, how you enjoy doing the starting part of a survival game, and like doing the initial build. That was one of our like core kind of pillars, like trying to capture, I would almost say, like the first hour of Minecraft again and again. And that wasn't for everyone, and that's totally fine. So a lot of the initial Olympus missions were designed in that way to kind of give small, like not encourage you to build what you needed to and then move on to the next mission. And as time went on, we started looking at longer missions, and that will take longer to build up and have to tick up higher and stuff like that. I'm not saying the balance is perfect. I don't think it is. And obviously we've shifted away and moved to a more open world kind of open world focus in the last couple of months. That's not saying we're ignoring missions or anything like that. Definitely not. There's still lots more missions coming.
I imagine if you're working on missions for open world, there's no reason that same thing can't... Well, I imagine from what you said earlier, it's probably easier to flick back from open world to a regular mission if you've developed something for one.
Exactly.
More so than working the other way.
And we're actually using some of the dynamic missions that are coming out as like experimental tech for the larger missions to see if they work, see if players enjoy them, stuff like that. The case in point being the pre-built structure thing in the last mission, Lost, that we put out.
With more missions coming to open world, has there been any thoughts about ways you might allow for exotics to be collected in an open world setting? Or is that going to be something you'll just keep as a unique benefit to doing the missions?
Yeah, so we really like that the exotics are unique to missions at the moment.
Yeah.
Because we offer there's blueprint unlocks and character unlocks and stuff and that are only present in missions as well. And we kind of like that. But if people are just doing their open world content, they're missing out on a lot. And obviously, some people only play open world, some people only play missions. So it's definitely not off the table. It's just we don't have a hard set plan for it just yet.
Okay. And then the question that comes up all the time, what about trees?
What about trees?
You can see we've somewhat denuded the area about us.
Yep.
Yeah. What?
And you've got some burnt trees over here as well, I see.
Yeah, they're the only ones that remain, so we've deliberately not been chopping those down, so it kind of looks like there's still some trees.
Yep, yeah. So what would you like to know about trees? Whether they're respawning or...
Well, what's the current... Oh,
Shoot,
Uh-oh.
I forgot I don't have any food buffs, and I'm trying to, like, just knife a jaguar. Yeah, so to answer your question,
that was
we
me
have
to watch at a distance.
we have obviously we put out the thumper, which was a
Yep.
respawning mechanism for. Thanks very much. A respawning mechanism for the voxels and the stone and stuff, the minerals and ores. We do have a plan, and we do have a device ready for the respawning of trees.
Okay.
And vegetation, so like brush and the like the vegetables and the corn and or the fruit and all that kind of jazz. It's not ready yet, but the tech's all there, and we just want to make sure we get it completely right before releasing it out.
Any plans to use any of that to give us decorative trees and shrubberies?
Decorative trees. Ah, yeah. So somebody was talking the other day about having like a plot type thing where you could grow your own tree. Yeah, that could be quite cool.
Just like we tried to. We were initially keeping some of the trees for our future keep at the top on that little plateau up there. But obviously, knowing that the lightning was going to eventually burn them down, we eventually went, let's just cut them down. It's fine. But being able to grow some and keep them would be kind of nice, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on board for that.
And I'm sure I suspect I'm not alone on that.
Yeah. So I actually got hit up by someone else the other day with almost the exact same question. So.
Oh, hang on. Here's a totally random question. So, a long while ago, I suggested to Dean that it would be kind of cool, for the sake of decoration, to have a rock chisel. One of the devs sort of made one and did what you would expect people to do with a chisel the first time they have one on a rock.
Right.
But then I never saw anything else of it. I'm assuming that didn't go anywhere, but I kind of wonder whether we could be given the ability to, like, especially with the statues we've now got, make chiselable things so we can make our own carvings with the voxel system.
Yeah, that could be quite cool. I have to find out what happened to that, because that would work almost perfectly with the voxel system.
I think it was basically a low volume pickaxe.
Yeah, it would be. It would just be a pickaxe, like, scaled right back.
Yeah.
But at a tiny radius.
Because I know I would lose myself in that for a long time. And the idea first came to me when Capac decided to, I think, turn one of the rocks into a giant...
I was turning all the boulders into mushrooms for a while.
Oh, it was Pav who turned one into a smiley face, wasn't it? I think. Can we expect to ever tame pigs? Sure, you can
Yes,
tame wild boar
maybe.
very well.
No, not at the moment. Do you want a bacon farm? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, who doesn't want a bacon farm?
No, we've got some big plans. Like we said on the roadmap something to do with animal companions and stuff like that. And we have some big plans in terms of husbandry and taming and
Yeah.
like, giving animals their own skill tree and stuff like that.
Okay, so we can expect the mowers to be able to kick in the future.
Yes, that is doable.
Yeah, it feels a bit weird that the mowers are like a threat to you, but as soon as you tame them, they forget how to defend themselves.
Yeah, no, it does. I agree.
And I'm a big fan of giant killer birds, so I'd like to see them taking some names.
Yeah, Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, Ross. Oh, sorry, you go.
No, you go for it.
No, I was just going to reply to something in chat. So you go.
I was just agreeing about the mowers being aggressive.
Yeah.
Nothing exciting.
Yes, Rascal, we did already ask about the wild animal spawning, and there is something that we might see that might allow us to stop things spawning inside our base in the future. Fingers crossed. How have you felt about the switch from the... Well, it's not really a switch. The shift from the weekly updates to planning the bigger patches with the weekly kind of fixes and mini updates?
I think it's better on the team.
Yeah.
Because we can spend a lot longer making sure the larger content that we put out is, of like complete, basically. For example, the fishing system, we launched with 52 fish, or whatever the hell it was, 35 fish, 52 fish, I can't remember. One of them. As opposed to if we did that in a weekly update, we would have drip fed that update over a month and a half, slowly adding 1 or 2 fish per week and adding another crafting recipe for a fishing rod and stuff like that. So in terms of like us putting our best content forward, I think it's way better. And it takes a little bit of pressure off the team because they don't. We can like bank up a lot of kind of like weekly updates and focus on performance instead of focusing on a new feature kind of thing, because that feature's gone to the designers for tweaking and stuff like that. On the other hand, I get carried away when I work on features, and I go too far all the time and just want to get in as much as possible each week. So I have to rein myself back quite often. But yeah, overall, I think it's better for the product in general because we are able to give you fully fleshed out features other than like one feature over 5 or 6 weeks.
Is the plan for the foreseeable future to continue with weekly small things so that you can keep getting little patches out? Like, yes. Especially like fixes related things?
Yeah. No, the plan's to continue what we're doing. Smaller weekly patches with either fixes or maybe a new item here or there, a tweak of the recipes, kind of like what we did with the bullets and stuff like that. Just, definitely smaller stuff, so we can focus on our larger, bigger patches like Galileo, for example, and so we can finish off the first DLC and start working on the second.
Yeah, one of the things that I found quite difficult... What's up with my bow? Why can't I aim right now? One of the things I found really difficult to... a bit frustrating to deal with when Keen for Space Engineers switched from weekly updates to their bigger patches was that they kind of stopped putting their fixes in the weekly patches and started saving up the fixes for the big things, for the big updates, which I guess there's a programming developer reason for that, but from a player perspective, to know that you've got to wait for the next big patch to even see if they will fix the thing that you're finding frustrating can be disheartening.
I can definitely understand that. It's my philosophy not to hold back fixes or anything like that. I've worked at places before which have, and I think like we're still trying to, we want to put our best foot forward, and we want to try. If we see something is wrong, we want to fix it straight away. We don't like leaving it in game or ignoring it, or even holding it back for timing and stuff like that. It doesn't really gel with our company.
Oh, here's the most... I'm trying to think of how to phrase this question. The most common question asked when someone joins my stream who hasn't seen the game.
Yeah.
What's your headcanon for why you get pneumonia in a suit that allows you to breathe infinitely underwater?
Okay. So the Icarus suit that is provided by the UDA it comes with a UDA filter, which was cheap and mass-produced and it allows you to filter out some of the toxins in the atmosphere, but not all of them. And yeah, that's what we'll go with.
Oh no! Ah.
Well, that's a good lead into another question. How, like, we haven't seen much of the sort of lore of the universe. Like, is there like a lot more that's sort of sitting around ready to go and not in the game yet?
Did you watch the original videos, Kabak?
I think I watched one or two of them.
That were actually really well acted. I think I just watched a burning buffalo roll down the hill.
Fantastic. We do have a lot of lore. We've got pages of it written up in our Confluence, and we've written pages more recently, quite a bit more to filter in with various quests and stuff like that. So we've got a strong base sitting there. It's just how we present it in game, and up to this point, all that we've really been able to do is do some things in missions here and there to kind of like hint towards bits and pieces, as well as item descriptions. And with the bestiary recently, we've been able to dive a bit more into that. Even the Prospector Field Guide, it's powered by a certain AI, which may make an appearance later on. But yeah, we are investigating other ways that we can get the lore out to people, because it's really well written, and we've got it does go quite deep, but pushing that out in a way that is not shoving in people's faces is sometimes a bit of a challenge.
Sorry, Kevin.
I'm just thinking. I've been seeing the pop-ups for like things for the bestiary, but I don't know how to actually access it.
Jay.
Yeah, Jay.
Is that? Am I missing something, or is that not referred to anywhere in the interface?
That is a good point.
I honestly don't know. The reason I know it is someone in chat earlier today was like, "Can you press J? Can you press J? Can you press J?" And I was like, "Okay, fine."
That is a good point. We were going to put in an option, like a keybind in the main inventory menu, but obviously they didn't make it. So yeah, no. Well, I'll get that in for this Friday. Easy.
Oh, and fishing records. Where's my records?
I think I know the answer for this, but I'll ask it anyway. Is it possible to use the water pumps to clear water from an area, or allow us to build underwater bases in some way?
You want to use the water pumps to drain an area? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what Tark in chat's asking.
No. We don't drain the water. We don't have a dynamic water system yet.
I mean,
you can build bases underwater, but we haven't gone full volumetric, like clearing water or anything like that.
In lieu of that, it might be nice to have some like buildable water features, like ponds and pools and things that you could build and then like pump water into. Like if we wanted to have like a fountain or something up here in our fortress.
Oh, yeah.
That's real funny. That actually came up in a design meeting today. Specifically water features.
Well, yeah, because you've got the pump system, so something like that that's more fixed would be, I imagine, more doable.
Yeah, definitely. Be prepared for some of them coming out.
Cool, because I love the new glowy rocks.
Yeah.
I might have just been collecting oxides to go and build a bunch of them.
Nice.
Guess what, Splitsy?
What?
I just found out that the fish that I caught that you obliterated was a rare fish.
Well, it wasn't my fault that the thing fell through the world.
Absolutely was.
I picked up his tackle box that he'd placed was trying to move it over to the other side of the bridge roof, but I didn't think to try and place it, so I dropped it, and it fell through the roof and then fell through the world.
Oh no. Oh no, it's terrible.
Yeah. He's never going to let me never going to forgive me for that one.
This is true. Oh.
Hang on a sec. Oh, right. Is your team aware of the duplicate trees?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And we do have someone looking at that at the moment.
Okay. I was
Those were
really
very strange when we first encountered them.
I honestly thought something was like I'd been playing for too long and my vision was going weird because it was kind of like looking at blurry trees and I'm like, no, is this a graphical bug? And then I went to chop one down and the tree exploded out of the other one. And I was like, oh, there are actually two according to the game, actual trees.
Yeah, no, it's not good. That shouldn't be there. We noticed when we were testing on the new map the other day, and we thought it was just localized to that map, but it seems to be something different in general. So we do have someone on it.
It was when we experienced it. It did seem to be in a particular area.
It's more common from my experience on Styx than it is on Olympus.
Okay, that's good to know actually.
Particularly apparent in N8 and
N8. Yeah, that was the area where we were running into it because we got one of those hunt down a bunch of animal missions, and so he traveled to that area, and that's where we encountered the mysterious Siamese trees.
Awesome. I've got it written down, so I'll feed that on to the developer tomorrow.
Cool.
See if that helps him out.
Another thing that came up in stream today. Ways to remotely interact with your tames. Now, Capax had some fun experience with remotely controlling tames in Ark.
Okay.
in that in the 25 plus years I've known him, I don't think I've ever heard him sound so annoyed by anything.
Okay.
But,
yeah, Ark disagreed with me in a few ways.
But despite that, we did both agree that maybe a very simple way to say just set follow on or off with a whistle or something like that to your animals might be quite useful.
Yeah, no, they would.
Is anything like that something you guys have thought about or that might eventually be on the cards?
No, we haven't talked about it, but it is something we could look into.
Because yeah, it was kind of when we were taking our little buffalo train to go off on a mining expedition, we were in situations where we were kind of struggling to, Capac was struggling to control all of his animals.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm just having a look at all of your buffaloes and mowers all clumped in one area at the moment.
I mean, part of the problem is that we just added 3 new buffalo, so the area is definitely not designed for this many animals.
Yeah.
No, it was not. It was not designed for that many.
But we did have a bit of difficulty trying to navigate the cave with the buffalo train.
They did not like the stalagmites.
Yep.
It was amusing to me.
Yeah, because you weren't having to get them out.
I know. No, Addicted 14. We didn't ask about that. So one of the things that is present for us on this map is we haven't actually done all the unlocks for Styx.
Yes. Yeah. So you've got the blockers in the way?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any thoughts about bringing the unblocker missions to open world?
Yeah, what we were talking about.
Or were you planning on keeping that as a way to encourage players to play the missions?
We have talked about it, and it's part of the mission thing we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
When you're able to trigger them, when you're able to trigger the actual missions from open world, you'll be able to solve it that way. But we have also been talking about potential other options to deal with that exact problem that we can action a lot sooner.
Okay. Because yeah, I've been reticent to do the next unlock mission, which we kind of needed because we kept getting our mission objectives put behind the snow wall we can't get past.
All right. Yep. No, that can be a problem.
So I've been reticent to do it because I know I have to get up to tier 4 tech, and yeah, struggle to find the time to do that as well. And I'm like, do I want to play and do that unlock, or do I want to keep building my keep? And I want to keep building my keep.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Especially now that I've got unlimited glowy rocks. Which...
You mean all limited glowy rocks?
Oh, well, I mean, we got the thumper. We've got the tech for it. We can build them. We can build a thumper. So we can get more.
I do like how some of those lights have come out.
I kind of like that they're dim enough that they're not really replacing the other lights, but they are bright enough that I feel like I can use them so that I can always navigate even if my lantern runs out of fuel.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about that on stream today, where I didn't want them to be an infinite light. Like, I don't want an infinite light source that completely replaces the ones that cost you fuel and need to be wired up, because to me, from an engineering gaming point of view, it's like, oh, you're kind of just removing a part of the game. But equally, having an emergency lighting system that's relatively expensive to put together, because I've just used up a lot of oxide, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a balance there. We never wanted them to fully replace the other lights, so that's part of the reason why they are expensive. But also we've turned them down quite a bit so they don't provide as much light, just as you say.
Yeah.
But they do make my chemistry bench look more like a prop out of Stargate SG-1.
Awesome.
Oh. What have you put on it? What did you put on your chemistry bench?
Glowing crystal.
Which one though? Oh, you put the pink one on there. The copper lamp. It does look like it could be in it could be in the background of anything that yeah, that does look like a Stargate thing. I can see Zelenka or Carter in front of that explaining something complicated.
Like why it's glowing without a power source.
Yeah.
There'd be lots of debates over that.
Ooh. Has a pause option been considered?
For single player, I assume.
Well, I mean, I potentially like a pause option for screenshots. Because so in Grounded, when you enter the camera mode, it enters camera mode for all players in the session.
Oh, okay. Right. And that
so
just freezes the simulation kind of thing.
Yeah, but you also get the controls to change the time of day.
Right.
So you basically it's a true photo mode. So you go into photo mode, it freezes everything. You can manipulate the character's pose, and you can manipulate the time of day. And so it was quite fun at the end of each stream. We'd kind of all stand together and try and get thumbnail screenshots. But when I ages ago, when it was still in beta, I did a short tutorial on how to fight the bears, and it took me forever to get a screenshot I was happy with, because I couldn't pause when the bear was about to attack me.
Right. Yeah.
And so, like, from a very selfish perspective, I'd love that. But yeah, I guess if you're playing solo.
I know it's been a requested feature on solo play, because a lot of people who do play solo just want to pause and walk away and come back to it, kind of thing. It's something we've briefly talked about. I was actually talking with one of the developers last week about it, and there might be some potential for it to work for us. It's just we have to be a bit careful with dedicated servers and how to handle it there. That's all.
Yes. Yeah, the dedicated does make it a bit more complicated, I imagine.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I guess you could put some. Oh no, one of the buffaloes is inside.
Why did you bring Xeno inside? Oh, no,
Oh, was
this is Exctoris's.
sorry, I didn't mean. I was inspecting him, and he. Oh, damn it! He's followed me. Okay, I'll take him outside. Come on, mate.
It's not the first buffalo that came inside. I accidentally did that before
I
as
was.
well.
I wanted to check out the chemistry bench, and it does look cool. The red. Oh, come
What
on,
was I doing? I
come
was
on, buddy.
getting
Come downstairs.
Yeah, good luck getting a buffalo to come downstairs.
Come on.
It'll be easier than if it was a real one. It's just standing here wagging its tail.
Come on, buddy.
Kabak, we need so many of those lanterns around this, even this base, because all of our torches have run dry. Oh, my paints are ready. Yeah. Okay. Here's a fun question. What's the funniest bug that you've seen have to be fixed?
The funniest bug. I've had one thing just jump into mind, but it's something that we don't have in game.
Okay.
So
It's something that's popped to mind, but you can't talk about?
No, I can talk about it. So in the early days, we were experimenting with a dropship editor. Something akin to like, oh frick, what was that? Forgotten the name of the game. Kerbal Space Program. Something similar to that.
Yeah.
And we decided I, in my infinite wisdom, didn't put a limit on it. So you could make these gigantic structures as your spaceship, and then you could come and land down with your custom spaceship. And somebody, one of the intermediate developers at the time, thought it'd be funny just to make this massive spiraling thing that just went up and up and up and up. And yeah, so we saw this gigantic flying ship land, cover, I would almost say, one whole terrain block. And because of the way he'd built it, you could just climb up there and walk right across the landscape. It was hilarious.
Well, I guess it's good to have someone like that on the team who's going to break things so that you don't discover those problems later.
Another funny one was when we first did the dropship landing points, and they would land on buildings, and they would just completely shatter buildings apart. We made the radius way too wide, so it was like a decimal point error kind of thing. So what happened was we had some people land, and then they'd walk together and they'd start building a base, and then someone else's dropship came down and it landed on top of the base, as we were kind of expecting, and it blew the base up. But the radius and knockback was way too big, and it just flung the three of us playing like a map tile or two away from that location. So we just basically went flying, and I was like, okay, cool, we probably should fix that. But like, it was we were in stitches because we just built up this house, we just got like oxygen sorted, we just started like a skinning bench, and yeah.
Nice.
I think one of the first things I did when we started playing was I built a house around the drop pod.
Yeah, we tested a few things to see if the drop pods would do any damage.
Yeah.
Because we were curious.
Yeah.
We've also, you rode one of the drop pods up to your death.
Yeah.
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 Because we built a thing and we stood on top of it, and it launched him high enough that when he fell down, he was dead.
Yeah. That's a classic.
Had to do those. Thanks,
The-
Sketchy, and thanks, Athelium. Yep.
The drop pods now, they don't because we've changed it so the drop pods don't have precise locations anymore. They select from around the drop pod landing area. So yeah, they do specifically avoid houses and stuff now. So you won't.
I do like that they launch you back though when you stand. when you stand at the sweet spot where you just take a tiny bit of damage, but you still get knocked back.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad we scaled that back down.
What? Oh, here's another popular question: wind turbines.
This is really funny. Yeah, so we've got a wind turbine, and it's an engine. We've been testing it. I would say it's almost ready to go. But we are just figuring out some designing aspects about how it should run and the conditions it runs under, because we don't want to just be providing people a device they can just place anywhere and just get free unlimited power kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think we've got a really nice solution that presents its own challenges. So people have to, specifically build them in a certain way or watch out for certain elements and stuff like that. But shortly.
Cool.
Hopefully.
So, is part of, assuming you can talk about it, but is part of the plan around making them something that you have to maintain, being that they don't cope with certain weather types, but other weather types give them extra power or something like that?
Yes, that is something that we've hopefully taken into consideration. I think something that we might do is also make sure they have to be placed at a certain elevation, like not in a deep chasm or something like that. But we're still playing around with that concept at the moment to make sure they feel good, because we really don't want to put something in that people are going to hate, and we don't want to make it too easy to get power. That's the other thing.
Yeah, it's figuring out that balance between annoying someone enough that they feel like they're clever when they come up with a solution, and not annoying them so much that they just give up altogether.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Oh, yes, he's downstairs. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Now come out this door. Oh, beautiful.
There we go.
Thank you. Good man. Oh. You stay.
Oh, missed.
Good buffalo.
That was
I've just
embarrassingly bad.
all this talk about windmills. I've just had a thought. That's all like electric windmills. Have you thought about mechanical windmills? For other purposes.
Like grinding flour.
Yeah, I was just
Kind of
thinking, like, maybe a mixer that's somewhere between the mortar and pestle and the electric one. What's that one called? The material processor.
Oh yeah. That's a really good idea actually.
Because, like, we usually make 2 or more mortar and pestles because we're using them so much, and they take a while to do their thing. So, like, an intermediate that does it somewhere in between the speed of those two might be fun.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. And it could have its own little kind of mechanic where you've got to place it outside and
Yeah, stick a little windmill on the roof.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. And I guess similarly, if you've got a system like that, it could be your basic early wind pump for water.
yeah.
That's less impactful or less reliable than the electrical ones.
No, that's a really good idea.
Which, as I say it out loud, I'm basically just suggesting RimWorld style electrical systems and pumping systems and stuff.
But I would like to see some of the water systems at a previous tech level. Because you don't really get access to the water and the water pumps until Tech 3 or Tech 4.
Yeah, we've actually been talking about that a bit lately. Possibly bringing the electricity and water networks down to T3 instead of T4, and then doing more advanced stuff at T4. Obviously getting batteries and stuff in, but yeah, I think that's something we do want to do. Introduce it a bit earlier and get people more involved and engaged with those kind of network and management kind of stuff. But if we were to do that, we need to make sure that we give the networks and electricity and stuff a bit of a debugging path. So make sure that people can, properly debug their networks and see what's going on with the systems and stuff like that.
Yeah. As you're saying debugging electrical systems, I'm like, finding that one burnt out cable in station is. It's like, cannot think of any other game where the electrical systems are complicated like that.
Yeah.
And on the topic of power systems,
Yeah.
batteries.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So this is a funny one because after we released back in a couple of years ago now, a year or so ago, during that Christmas period, I was working. I was kind of like just making sure things were running smoothly and making sure we got the patches out and stuff like that. And I actually threw together a battery. So we've technically had a battery in game for about a year now, but
Okay.
it was back when I wasn't project lead. I was just a lowly little programmer at that point. But it is a very common thing that gets asked, and I want to make sure that when we put it in, it comes with the debugging tools and stuff that I was mentioning before.
Yeah, because obviously as soon as you put a solar panel down, you're like, want a battery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we definitely have plans for batteries, and yeah, the network kind of revamp and debugging tools and switches and stuff will probably be coming along at the same time.
Oh, slight distraction. Do you two want to come and revive me?
Oh no.
Where are you?
Go left out of the gate and you'll find me.
I need to drink some water.
I might have gotten attacked by a couple of jaguars while heavily encumbered with oxides. And unfortunately, I did not get headshots on them. Oops. Oh, my smallest but probably most serious request. Can I have a half railing?
You want a half railing?
Yeah, for the half floors.
Oh, right.
Because I can't make a Juliet balcony.
I'm sure we can look into that for you. Oh, there's Komodos and everything around here.
Yeah, we live in a friendly place.
Oh, crocodile. Go away, crocodile.
I'm getting out there.
Go away, wolf.
Yeah, and being able to manipulate the camera angle on the follow cam.
Yeah, that is strange that that's not working because we did get a fix-in for that. So it seems like something's broken it again.
Okay, cool. So it is meant to be a thing. I thought it was a thing when in the early days.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was weird when it didn't happen one day. I'm like, is this intentional? Am I misremembering? Thanks, Grozzob. Komodos, where are my giant wetters? From the question from your fellow countryman.
It's a good point. We have to be careful with the wetters because they are arachnid-like. Like the legs kind of trigger people a little bit. But I don't see why not, honestly.
I mean,
I was pitching kiwis the other day, so
there's already scorpions in.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
Why does my recurve bow have 2 arrows in it?
Looks normal to me.
Yeah.
No, it says 2 of 8 on the reload.
Oh, right. So, yeah, so that's a bug that had popped up with the UI optimizations.
Okay. I was wondering for a second whether it was starting to tell me when I was about to get my double shot off. Okay.
Go over
Arachnid,
there.
no problem. Can always have them put behind a holographic cat picture.
It's really funny that you mentioned that because we've got spiders, and we're planning on doing something with them, but we want to make sure that we do arachnid modes. Yeah, whatever the spider mode.
Arachnophobia modes.
Yeah, that's the word. And one of the creature designers, he's just basically what he does is he hides the spider mesh and just puts a friendly, happy ghost face.
Oh, there's a bear up north. Yeah, that one.
Whoops, I'm down again.
Ah!
Oh shit! I'm gonna run out of arrows. Yeah.
Come on, Kavak, survive.
Hooray! I unlocked the bear. The bestiary.
Did I drop stuff again? No. Yep, I did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, something's coming. Jag, you up.
Jaguar.
Oh. I'm of nearly no use to you guys.
Oh, I know. I need to craft a torch. This is we need
Yep.
we need a torch, guys.
I've got my lantern on.
You didn't during that fight.
Well, yeah, apparently not. Oh, I should eat more meat. Oh, with the modifications to the hunting rifle, one of the things you can put on it is a scope. Is there a plan to have that be an in-game actual scope, or is it always more just of a damage buff thing?
Yes, we do have plans to do like actual scopes. It just needs to take a little bit because the original weapon meshes weren't designed to accommodate proper attachments like that. And if we were to just put one on, it means that we need to, for each weapon you can put it on,
Whoa!
we need to provide a new.
Yeah, so because it wasn't designed around it, it's very hard to then get it redesigned so you can. Yeah.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is we're doing, we've got the artist and one of the programmers and stuff and concept team testing out some actualized attachments, I'm calling them,
Yep.
which are actual attachments that you attach to weapons and armor and stuff that are actually visible in the world.
Oh,
And
cool.
part of that is adding a scope to your gun and how it affects it, how you hold it, and what you actually see through it, and stuff like that.
Nice.
It's unfortunately that some stuff like that just takes a little bit longer because we don't want to mess with the existing stuff too much.
And I imagine none of these modifications were planned initially anyway when the artists first made the...
No.
models.
The attachments were a thing we decided on last year after a bunch of investigation. And yeah,
Yep.
but the original plan was to release with like proper visual attachments for them all, but it turned into a much bigger task than we originally thought.
But was it... We were talking about the power cables when we looked at our long power line. There might be some changes coming to that. Maybe.
Hopefully those changes will be easier to place.
Yeah.
So it's a multi-stage process at the moment.
You've done a good job, though. It looks really good.
Yeah, I came up with the concept and then Capax run with it and made it go... It's a full map tile away already, isn't it?
I'm at the top corner of N8, so yeah, like
Yeah.
a whole tile away so far.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
We're trying to get to running water.
And link up the mining deposits
Yeah,
along
yes.
the way.
Yeah.
All right. So
the
your
deep
plan is
deposits.
to get to a river so you can put the water wheels in.
Yep.
Yep.
And by the
nice.
time he gets there, you'll have the wind turbines out.
Yeah, probably.
I'll time it for the week. So as soon as I see that you guys have got it on stream, I'll yeah.
Speaking of the guns, though, I do have a comment. Because Because with this character, I dipped pretty deep into the farming tree and the talents.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the special recipe in there to make the rusty shotgun.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't make shotgun ammo for it until like if you go straight through the farming tree to get that, you can't actually make any ammo for it until you've got a lot more levels.
Yeah,
Right.
Capac was able to make the gun, but I could only make the ammo because I was 15 levels higher than him.
Right, yeah, because we don't lock the talents behind a level or anything, do we?
Yeah, so what I was thinking was whether there could be a lower damage ammo that came along with that rifle.
Yeah, no, that's...
Well, I mean, that shotgun is already weaker than the regular shotgun.
But as in, just so that you've got something that, as soon as you unlock that shotgun, no matter what else, you've got ammunition you can fire from it. So you're not just stuck with a useless shotgun. Would you expect any performance issues for us with having something connected that long with a power system?
No.
Cool.
No. Yeah, so, like, we load a couple of tiles around where you are, so you should be fine in that regard. But even if you brought it out to M8 or L8 or whatever, the power networks don't get unloaded, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can do very long ones.
Yeah, because we're planning on going down to M9.
Oh yeah,
Because that's the nearest. That's the nearest moving water.
that's cool.
It was a toss up. We could either move our entire base, or Capac could build a giant power line. Yeah, agreed, Gruz. Instant no is a good answer to that question. Oh, that was something brought up today as well that I think would be pretty cool if we could have it. With the biofuel generators, is there any thought on having like you do with the water system, but have a fuel system where we can have a large tank of biofuel for running our multiple generators that we're probably going to be running, as opposed to having jerry cans that we put in?
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's completely doable. We actually already have fuel set up as a network, as we haven't enabled it. But that's I really like that idea actually. I don't know why. I actually don't know why we haven't already done it.
Because it only came up on stream today, and I was like, actually, that would be kind of nice, because then you have a centralized fuel point that you have to refuel, and the nice bit about having electricity and running power lines to lights is that now we don't have to go around refueling every single light source, which is great. Because that's a nice bonus to getting to that tech level and going through the expense. So then doing similarly for having a tank would be great.
So what you're asking for is a giant battery you place on the ground for fuel.
I guess effectively it is. I'm not sure how you're gonna, like, the bit I couldn't come up with a good concept for was how you go about filling that tank. Like, do we have to fill our jerry cans and take them over to it and get them to empty into it? Or do we connect it straight to a biofuel composter?
I'd say, like, if the biofuel composter could stay as it is, and you, like, manually refill it, and then once you get to, like, the electric composter, then you can connect it directly or something like that.
Yeah.
Just connect it up, and then it slowly accumulates fuel and then passes it on where it needs to.
But if we get fuel lines, I want to see that when they get damaged, they spray jets of burning fuel everywhere.
And if you have an open flame, they explode?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm curious about something. Has fire propagation been reduced?
Like recently?
Maybe about 4 months ago.
I don't think so. Not intentionally, anyway.
I just feel like we've seen less. I've seen less spread of fire from me lighting forest fires.
Yeah, maybe something happened. But definitely wasn't a conscious choice from us. I don't think.
And sorry to just like pile on the questions about bugs when we're supposed to be talking about the updates, but it's been kind of cool hearing you answer that. Yes, this is being worked on. Yes, this is being worked on.
Yeah,
Cool,
it's fine,
reassuring.
man.
I can't light a wall on fire with my torch on anymore.
Why are you trying to set the house on fire?
I can only light pillars.
Okay. On my open world that we were on before, I lit a thatch wall on fire yesterday.
Maybe it's just wood walls.
Wood. Okay. Yeah. No. I know wood has a higher burning resistance. But yeah, no, it should still happen. If it's not, we can definitely look into that because
Yeah, it might be something that people have just missed, and because we had a tradition on our mission maps of, as we get to the end of the mission, we set our house on fire
oh yeah, excellent.
before we leave, because you've given us a propagating fire system. It has to be done.
Yeah.
And I noticed for a long time now that in order to get that to ignite, I had to ignite the posts, not the walls.
Okay.
The walls would eventually ignite from the posts being lit,
Yeah.
but the post would never be able to be lit by the torch itself.
Okay,
I might just grab some wood and I'll demo just to see if it is still happening, because it might not be.
Yeah. If it's yeah, no, I'll double check it. I'll look into that because we do want wood walls to burn down.
Here we go. I'm just over at the entryway. Down a wall, although it's probably going to burn down in this. It's probably going to get destroyed in this wind. Because of course it's black wind right now. Okay, torch out. Oh.
Yeah, I'll help.
So if you light the post, it'll light really quickly. But the walls...
Yeah, it's taking a long time, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you go over to the post, you'll see just how quickly the posts light. By comparison.
Oh. We got it though. Or
Oh.
did somebody light the post?
No, that did eventually light. Wonder if it was the angle that I was approaching from or something.
Maybe it's been treated with the same stuff that they put on the Gavly goat.
You should have got an achievement for that. If you hadn't already.
I might well have. I don't know. So what's the next stuff that you're looking forward to with the next bigger patch
That you can talk about.
that you can talk about? Obviously.
we haven't said anything yet. Obviously, I've said there's something to do with missions. But there's some really cool, I want to say, weapons. But I can't really go into detail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally
we
respect that.
we had a meeting, I want to say, last week with the designers, and just say everyone came away feeling really excited to get working on the next kind of stage of things.
Cool. We just put out our fire.
Yes.
Nice. Oh, there were some other little things like that I wanted to ask, and I can't think of what they are. Things that I was just like, oh, that was it. There was... Okay. So, I don't know if anyone in Capax chat will have the clip from this, but 2 weeks ago, Capac was in a cave. He'd knocked open the wall to come in, as you do, and then a bear chased him to that hole in the cave from outside, and it looked very much like the bear did some damage to the rock.
Yep. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, so I think the bear and the boar might have a couple of mining stats on them, so they can do a little bit of damage.
Can we have it on the crocodiles too?
Do you want it on the crocodiles?
Yeah, because it's so easy to jump up on a rock and hide from the crocs. I feel like it'd be cool if when the crocs do their tail swipe, part of the rock smashes from under you.
Yeah, no, that could be cool. Same with the yeah. I'd want to put it on the wolves as well, but wolves don't really make sense.
Yeah.
But it's like one of my pet peeves with the AI behavior, the wolves. How you can just jump on the rocks to avoid them. And they've got no kind of like attack or anything to deal with you.
You could put mining on the Kias, so when they get stuck in your base, they can dig their way out.
It just doesn't want to burn, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Oh! I feel like we experienced something like this in the very, very early days. Somehow, when we were burning stuff near a cliff wall, and because we were near the cliff wall, I think it lacked some oxygen or something.
Okay.
There was something about... I think Dean was in chat at the time. There was something about the way we'd set it up, and it was too near something that it was kind of counting as underground.
Oh, right. Yes. Yep. Yeah.
And so because of that, it was limiting how much it would burn.
Yes. Yeah, we might be having that happen here as well.
Yeah, because we're right up against that cliff wall.
You're right up against the cliff wall, and we're enclosed. We've got the space enclosed here.
Yeah.
I don't have a hammer. Damn it.
But yeah, that is cool to know that we weren't crazy and that bear really did damage that rock. Your answer made it sound like you were worried that we weren't happy with that, but no, happy. Or at least I am. I'm not sure Kapak was.
I wasn't happy at the time when it was trying to eat me.
One thing we should do with that, though, is if a bear does damage a rock, we give it the ore, so when you kill it, it's in its inventory or something.
Well, that's what I said the same to Splitsy. Then we have to have the bears trained so we can get them to dig up minerals.
No, it's not. It's not becoming Atlas. Please, no Atlas. Yeah, we were discussing carts, but we've got buffalo, so I was saying I was surprised that not many survival games tend to use wheelbarrows as a way for you to carry stuff around in the early game. Obviously, once you've got buffalo in, adding that is kind of a low yield thing to add, so not something I would be expecting. Kia dying on our spikes. But yeah, people in chat are bringing up about the idea of having some sort of hand cart to help you move around if you don't have an animal. But I'm not sure it's needed.
Yeah, it's something we did look into, but in terms of logistically moving a large amount of stuff, we thought that like an animal pulled cart was better overall. Yep. Just to restrain the thing a little bit, as well as like if you're a player pushing a cart, there's a few kind of like matching terrain issues with pushing it and animation stuff. But
yeah,
it's something we could do, but it just doesn't. I don't feel like there's a clear design reason for it right in the game right now.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I've got to stop setting this. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to stop setting this wall on fire.
I mean, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
I put it there to be on fire.
I am excited to see more with the animals though, and the like getting some real use out of the animal husbandry talent tree.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got on the roadmap the animals, like a big animal husbandry thing planned. Unfortunately, that's not this next one. So you'll probably have to wait a little bit longer for that. But no, we've got some pretty cool things lined up. Hopefully,
It's all right. Kabak's got a few hundred meters of power cabling to do. That'll take him months.
sweet. I'll put a time limit on it then.
Oh, that's an interesting question. So it's taken till this major update for the level cap to rise. Are there plans to keep raising it?
If we feel the need, right now we think 60 is good for what is needed in terms of giving players more talents and not diluting the pool. And we don't want to create a sense of like talent starvation, but we also don't want to grant, allow people to do completely everything with their talents.
Yep.
Because we want to have some kind of player choice there, not just unlock everything in the end. But it's definitely on the cards. It's just we will probably be adding more talents and more levels, more reasons to level up, kind of thing. So in an answer, yes.
Yeah.
Possibly in future we will be increasing again. Just not anytime soon. I don't think. It'll definitely coincide with a major patch.
Would I be correct in assuming that part of the reason you did it this time is to facilitate people getting the fishing skills?
Yeah, so we did it in 2 stages. So we did the performance patch a couple of weeks ago, and that was a result of us looking at the amount of talents that are available and realizing that it's not players don't have enough to doing everything they want. And then we knew the fishing tree was coming, and then we also upped it again. So to facilitate people wanting to dive into the fishing tree.
Yep. Yeah, because I got that boost 2 weeks ago, and then that boost again today.
Yeah, total of 30, I think it was all up, which was good because it means you can essentially do another entire tree, get to the bottom of another tree.
Yep. Since wolves can't dig/break, could you give them a short climb/jump ability that only works on rocks?
Huh.
Yeah.
I just found a glitch.
What have you done?
So I just caught a fish, and I went and I put it on the fish trophy board thing.
Oh, and you're still holding it up?
Yeah, I'm still holding the fish.
Yeah, no, we're fixing that this week. I'm so glad we got that held up animation in.
It's really cool, but there's like a weird dangly thing spinning around. I don't know if you guys can see it. It might just be a first person.
Yeah, it's only visible on your eye. And I think it's some first person interaction with your leather armor.
I don't know. I feel like it must be to do with the fishing line because it's very thin and stringy.
I thought when I experienced that before,
Wolf attack,
that it was part of my leather armor because it looked like one of the flaps on my.
I think you're thinking of something else.
No, I got a thing there before, but yeah.
Yeah, what Mike says in my chat, it looks like a rubber band, like a black rubber band flapping about.
Oh, maybe it is different.
Oh, okay. It might be the lure when you're holding it up. Yeah, I know we. Yeah, because we give you when you don't have the fishing rod equipped, we give you like a a standard lure just to hold the fish if you want to hold the fish in your hand.
Yes, chat. I have brought up the Juliet half railings already, and yes, we've also spoken about power and batteries and things. Oh, fish.
Going back to railings and buildables, and we were talking about like planting trees and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of like flower boxes for decoration purposes might be nice too.
Oh yeah, some flower boxes, vases, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and that was the other thing we talked about today. If you follow us up to our keep at the top of the hill,
Okay.
there's a. It made me start to think about something you can do in Valheim. So, because we've obviously gone the very castle-esque style of build here,
Mhm.
I started building what would be like a feasting table. And with the number of cool different foods that Capak's made, and especially the preserves, wondering whether there's any thoughts about being able to place those down as decorative items.
Oh yeah. It all depends because with a lot of the food, we don't actually create meshes for them.
Yeah, yeah.
We give you like a little lunchbox type thing. But that's something we could look into.
Well,
Maybe
even
as
just like decorative, like tableware, like plates and things like that.
plates and
Or since we've gotten the new furniture, something that's a bit more of a grand table than the ones that we've currently got, and stuff to go on it would be cool.
I can't remember what we've unlocked. Is the
Uh,
uh
so there might be some other stuff there that we just don't have yet. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
There's some nice carved wood tables that are a bit larger and a couple of different styles. But I
Okay, cool.
don't believe they're out yet. They should be coming in one of the weekly updates.
How's this gonna look? Oh, did I place that the wrong way around?
No, it's the stone. It's the stone wall poking through,
I-
so you just have
I-
to reposition a little bit.
Yeah, and I've got to pick which picture. Is there a way I can reposition that a little bit so that it doesn't pop through?
Yeah, you should be able to. You can see that it's popping through there in your preview. So if you just shift it off to the right or left a little bit.
It seems like it's
Hmm.
because with free build when you can use page up, page down to lift things.
Mm.
I know it will allow us to do some glitchy stuff, but is there any thought on giving us some limited controls to be able to do those sorts of things, to
Yeah.
push
Well, I want to.
things
I want to
slightly?
now.
Well, so if you come out here, you can see that our building isn't actually one building.
You've
I've
built on multiple grids.
I've built multiple grids, multiple angles. You can see the multiple angles
Yes.
in the wall down there.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if I can manage to make these match pretty well, it'll look really cool having something that's not just a perfect square.
Yeah. No. You've done really well. Like I actually didn't realize there were two different grids until you pointed it out.
Yeah. So I would like that's why I kind of like the idea of being able to manipulate things a little bit just to fudge
Mhm.
them so that you can do those stylistic things if you want to, but for the vast majority of uses we don't need to.
Yeah. No, it's I don't see what. Yeah, we do really like expanding on the building system in terms of like shifting things like that. So I don't see why not. We can't add something to
Oh,
push out from the wall and stuff.
I just found out something interesting.
That you can fish from up here.
Yep.
Yep. Nice.
What? How did you... Okay, I gotta do this. Actually, I want to wait and see when Capac reels in a fish.
Oh, I crafted a spear instead of a fishing rod. Idiot.
I got a snapper.
Okay, this is... I imagine this isn't intended, but it's kind of fun anyway. How does it calculate where you're casting to?
It's straight physics. It launches something out, and wherever that lands, that's
Okay.
it basically.
Hey, Capac, I found something rarer than you, I think.
Yeah,
Would
I
you
think
like it?
so.
Would you like to put it in place of the fish that's downstairs?
Well, we should put it somewhere.
Because we can get rid of the red trout thing that you've got down there. Is there a max line length?
Yes and no. um, it's all based on physics, so it's as far as you can cast it, basically. So there is a max launch velocity. But when we were testing from very long distances. The issue was you'd lose sight of the UI.
Yeah.
I was about to say you guys built at a really good spot because I deliberately put uncommon fish here, and then I just went and caught the most common fish.
Well, I think this coral Diano is probably somewhat rare.
Yeah, that was the rare one that you sent to the Nether Realm.
Ah, perfect. Well, I replaced it. We pretend like nothing happened. It was all fine. It was all intentional. There's nothing to see here.
Exactly.
And I guess the stone walls and paintings thing will probably be adjusted at some point.
Yeah.
I was also having some issues with the stone walls with signage.
Yeah, it'll be the same issue, right?
Yeah,
With the stones blocking through.
And the signs were where I really wanted to be able to just tweak things and like being able to place them on the edge of a floor block and things like that. So that I can have them in front of the cupboards but not on the cupboard doors.
Yeah.
So it'll be really cool.
I actually think we need some more signs.
Yes,
Don't like
agreed.
the plain wooden one.
I agree. I would love to see more signs. Quebec, do you have any other things that you... Oh, here was a question. Though I think you sort of answered it with the newest mission. Did you have any plans for shortcuts to progression on those high-level missions for people who want to keep running those? And I think you mentioned that on the... Is it correct on the recent one that you have some structure existing already when you drop? Is that... Or did I misinterpret?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I just made an absolute meal of that one. What are the plans for shortcutting progression on the missions to allow people who want to do them more quickly or don't really want to tech up to tech 4 every time to still be able to have some fun with it?
Yeah, the obvious solution is to let them, trigger them from open world, because then you've got your persistent base.
Yeah.
In terms of other shortcuts, like in terms of teching up and stuff, workshop equipment would probably be the way to go there, allowing you to drop with various other building pieces and certain tech level stuff. But we haven't really discussed that just yet.
You've managed to spawn in some buildings into the open world. Could we buy a prefab that's already in existence from the workshop?
Yeah, that's completely...
Rather than buying the parts, have a thing that already exists in the world that you can go and then you go to it. It's your
like a little
pre-existing base.
Little grenade you throw and it pops open a base kind of thing.
Or just like you land and it's already there.
Yeah.
It's like already in the world. Thanks so much, NCC Hero. Thank you for the 10 gift subs. Hey, you got Moosey with that one. Like something like that would be kind of cool, where, say, our little thatch bases would be our cheap that we've got a couple of from missions around here. If I land in my drop pod and I've basically paid to drop where someone else has already set that base up for me.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea actually, and because we've got the tech to spawn in buildings and stuff like that. Things like that are definitely not off the cards anymore. Definitely not off the card.
Yeah, I was thinking just because you've managed to get the tech in to do it, it'd be kind of a fairly neat way of introducing some shortcutting of the tech tree.
Yeah, especially for the longer missions that do require you to tech up.
Yeah.
It's interesting watching you guys fish and hearing a splashing noise coming from you when you grab the fish out of the water when the water is all the way down there.
That's probably way over the time you were expecting to put up with us asking you random questions. Thank you. Thanks so much for doing this. It's been
No
really
worries.
cool hearing about what the plans are, and actually it's really nice for us, like, each week going, I wonder if they're going to fix this, and actually hearing that you are aware of a lot of the things that we'd like changed, and are keen on some of the things like half railings that we really, really desire.
Yeah, no, it's good talking to you guys. And I've had fun playing. I do try and talk on Discord, same with a lot of the other developers.
Yep.
And respond to messages on Steam and stuff like that. But not all of that always gets across to the community. So I know that a lot of people might, be frustrated at us because we're not taking into account things, or we're unaware of bugs. We're usually very aware of issues that are going on. We're trying to fix them as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
and that's a good point to remind everybody to make sure you put in a bug report if you do see anything.
Yeah,
weird.
we're both pretty awful about that.
Yeah, we do. We've got a couple of people that like check those bug reports daily. So anything you do put through the bug reporter in the engine, or a feature upvote, we do have people going over them. A lot of the times people think we don't, but I've got a couple of developers who almost read every single one that comes through.
Any last questions from chat quickly? Anything good? Are the fish just for food or trophy, or can they be used for bait or just... Oh, actually, that's a really... one question I do want to sneak in.
Yeah.
So, in the long dark, if you're carrying a rabbit, you can drop it and the predator will go for it and leave you alone. In Icarus, we can carry a rabbit on our belt.
I see where you're going with this.
It fits together so neatly. Like, we've already got that ability to have a rabbit on our belt, which, as frustrating as it was, Capac repeatedly got us attacked by things because he kept wanting to have a rabbit on his belt. But, like, being able to carry a small creature as a bait or distraction, say a bear's coming after me, I'm like, I don't want to deal with this bear. I drop the rabbit and I run, and it goes, sweet, free mate.
Or if you're hunting and you're like carrying a deer back and you get attacked by a bear, you could just drop the deer and run.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good suggestion. I think, and I may be wrong, but the Komodo has some behavior that may already include that.
Yeah, well, the Komodo does seem to go after your kills more than you.
Yeah, basically the Komodo shouldn't touch you unless you get near its kill. You get near something it's killed, or a carcass or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very protective of its food. But that seems like a really good idea. Even if it's like a safety mechanism or deterrent kind of thing. It's very cool.
Well, I kind of liked it as an idea for early game. How do you deal with bears? Where you, particularly while you're still trying to learn the jousting technique for getting past their charges. So yeah, I've always wanted to, and I know Capac's harped on about this a fair bit too, always wanted to be able to have some passive, non-combat way of dealing with some of those bigger threats that allows you to experience them as a big threat early on, but not die to them.
Yeah,
so it'd be really cool to see stuff like that, and
especially
in
the
baits.
Especially in the early game when you're like very ill-equipped to deal with those kind of situations.
Yeah. No, I really like it. I might have a chat with I might have a chat with someone tomorrow about that, actually.
I just really love the idea of having a bear chase after me and throwing a white rabbit at it and running.
Yeah.
I will have to go to the snow area to get a snow rabbit, but I will do it just for that.
Make it Yeah, no. If we do that, we'll have to make it so you look far more attractive if you've got something on your hip.
I don't mind the crazy ragdoll. It looked kind of cool. But thank you so much, Exctoris, for joining us for this. Hopefully, chat got something out of it. Yeah, honestly, just thanks so much. Been very much enjoying our open world play.
Mike in my chat makes a good point that it should be that, like, if you drop a rabbit, a bear is either going to just snap it up and keep coming for you, or like isn't going to be interested in it for that long.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like what you drop is sort of relative to what's coming after you as well.
Yeah, so a rabbit might distract a wolf properly, but a bear not so much.
Like, at least it give you a few seconds to, get away, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. I've really enjoyed this. And yeah, hopefully I've answered a few of your questions, and you guys have liked what you've heard. So yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's been really cool. It's not an opportunity we get every day.
Nope. Literally the first time we've ever done something like this, so very cool.
Sweet.
Chat, Capac and I'll be back for stuff later in the week.
I'll be back on Thursday for more Warhammer 40k bolt gun.
Nice.
I'll be back on Friday for my weird birthday party stream where I'm going to play something that's completely not what I would normally play. So there's all that.
Well, okay. Does
what?
our guest have anything
yeah.
in particular that he wants to shout out before
Yeah.
we sign off?
No, not particularly. Yeah, I hope that everyone's enjoying Icarus, and if you've got any suggestions for feedback, or if you're loving or hating the patch, just feel free to jump in Steam and leave a review. We read through all of them, so yeah. Cheers.
Cool. So there's all that and plenty more to come, and we will see you then.
Catch you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.